we have been doing so far and why we have gathered here together. Well, this journey commenced about 14 years back when we decided to launch an initiative known as Academic Forum for Public Prosecutors. I was the Chief Public Prosecutor for the state of UP, also known as a Government Advocate, GA. And I was suddenly given a team of about 700 lawyers to lead that team, to ask them to be present in every court of law, every courtroom, where on a day-to-day basis there were 100 briefs every day. Now, somewhere down the lane, I realized that whatever we study in a law college or a law university is of no utility in litigation. The subjects haven't been amended yet, they all are more theoretical. I mean, it's a completely new world, the field of litigation. Then these prosecutors and the standing counsels, you require a 7-year practice in a high court to become one. But then it was like somebody who was practicing on civil side became a public prosecutor. Somebody who was not even having any experience of high court became a public prosecutor as standing counsel. So they were all nonplussed. So it used to be like me being asked by the judges not to leave their courtroom till 4:30 or 5 p.m. Then they calling me to the chambers, see what to do in this matter. We are not getting any assistance. Simultaneously, it was like these standing counsels and AGAs coming up to me almost every day as to what should we say in court, or how to draft a counter affidavit, or what is the law on this point. Initially, I thought, all right, I'll take it up on a one-to-one basis. So it was an open door kind of a situation. Anybody can come in, and I used to sort out their difficulties, discuss it with them, find a solution to it. Then I thought, okay, we have a very good, magnificent library not being used at all, known as a GA library. So let us revamp it. So Bar Council of India had gifted me an AIR online kind of a thing which had all the judgments from India, every court. So I gifted it to the library. Then I went for Manu Patra donating it, SCC online. We had 7 such, but there was no improvement. So immediately one way out was to like analyze what were the kind of cases which are coming up in a writ jurisdiction, in a bail, in a 482, in a civil writ. So we came to a conclusion that the bulk of the litigation constituted cases emanating maybe from matrimonial causes. So it used to be either a case relating to domestic violence, 498A cruelty, violence against women, or it could be a case of right to choice, people marrying against the wishes of parents and FIRs being lodged. Third category was cases relating to Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe Atrocities Act. Fourth was forgery cases, these property disputes where somebody who did not have any title became an imposter and transfers that property to someone else. So we founded this academic forum for public prosecutors and started having sessions there. We used to organize sessions. Generally, it was a Rai Umanath Bali auditorium just facing the old court building. So invited everyone there, and these sessions spanned a lot of arenas, a lot of topics it spanned. For instance, the very first I remember session was on Domestic Violence Act. Right to choice followed it. Then there was a Criminal Law Amendment Act post Nirbhaya 2013 when a Justice J.C. Verma committee was constituted. I remember Professor Roop Rekha Verma calling all of us, maybe Hamsafar was there, Ali was there, some professors. Our suggestions were sent and were accepted by Justice Verma committee, which saw an amendment being brought into force in CRPC. Now they were not aware because some were carrying old CRPC, old IPC, not aware of what changes have been brought about in law. So like we used to organize these sessions, I was being called to JTRA, which is a Judges Training Research Institute, just 200 meters from here, to train district judges, magistrates, ADJs, even high court judges at times, because everything suddenly got changed. The sentence, the age, everything, provisions. Then we had sessions on female feticide. Right? You understand, you must have read it in those clinics and hospitals about ultrasound techniques. You can't just go on with it. Doctors can be prosecuted for it. Then Juvenile Justice Act, which is another area. Both sides, a juvenile who's in conflict with law and also who's in need of care and protection. Cyber security was another thing. Suddenly there used to be so many cyber crimes, so we invited the cyber crime SP, the DIGs, and there was one IPS officer, Mr. Pandey, I remember, who just told us how these cyber crimes are being committed. Like, for example, he took my phone and called somebody else, and the name which was being flashed was of Barack Obama. So he did it there and then. So that's how cyber crimes. Then the lesson which we got, I want to share with you: don't give your phone numbers everywhere. Not even when you are at Spencer's or Big Bazaar. Just say, I don't want to give it. Because what is happening is data theft. So where they are storing the name and data and email, that is being stolen. So all they require is your email and your phone number. Phone number is connected to the bank account. Don't share it. Or if you want to give your number everywhere, just give that number which is not linked to your bank accounts. That is just one lesson which I recall. There are many other aspects. POXO Act, very important. Women and Children Rights, where we had that IG women who succeeded Navneet Sikera. 1090 was created because of these sessions. The Women Helpline 1090, Chauraha Jawab Dekhte Hain. So Women Helpline created, it was just like this. You were just sitting, Mr. Sikera comes up and says that before becoming a DIG at Lucknow, I had seen so many girls commit suicide in Meerut, and they were being stopped. So let us do something. What does the law say? I said, I'll give you a legal carpet blank, kind of a protection. He said, I can come up with an IT solution to it. I know somebody in Aliganj. Within 2 to 3 months, we had 1090 set up because CM was on the same page. So these discussions are very important. आपने सुना होगा ना कि भाई ठीक है, discussing people at the lowest rung, discussing events slightly higher, but discussing ideas is the highest pedestal. So whenever you meet, try to have an exchange of ideas. You will never know what major improvement might come up in the society simply by sharing ideas. So that's how 1090 Women Power Line came up. Law and order issues were also discussed. Yeah, you can take this. You are?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Just introduce yourself before I continue. He is Yash. He is a law student.
Yeah, first year law student in Lucknow University.
In Lucknow. Okay,
Nice to meet you all.
so you have lawyers and the NGO teams here and law interns like you. Welcome. Then we had sessions on mediation. Even Ali had joined us for a session how mediation could be a solution to these problems, these matrimonial causes, how mediation could be an alternative dispute resolution mechanism, how it could be an elixir for these problems, because you see that the courts are clogged up with these litigations. Struggles for victims of POXO Act, DV Act, Forensic Science Laboratory, the director had joined in, we discussed about this, we got it upgraded, now we have DNA here at Lucknow also. Gender issues were discussed, child trafficking was discussed, we even had a session on these refugee problems with one of the lawyers coming up who had filed a case in UK which was pending before Court of Appeal. Now that case they have won, and that entire UK policy of forcibly sending the people, the asylum seekers to Sudan has been set aside by the Court of Appeals. That too was discussed here, because I remember in my chambers we were saying they lost at one point of time. So we said, why don't you just go ahead with that principle of free-for-allment? If there's a threat to their life, why are you sending them? If Sudan can assure that no, they won't be sent back to the company from where they had come, Syria, Israel, etc., it's fine. But if they are not giving any such assurance, they'll be sent back and killed. So, this is it about CPJ. Now, why we have come here on a Sunday? Well, the theme for the day is, again, we are seeing the operation and implementation of the Domestic Violence Act. And we are also seeing that in spite of the law being in place, in spite of the many statutory mechanisms there, in spite of the goodwill of the government of the time, in spite of so many lawyers